Welcome back to another Guns Contractors video. Today, the sun is finally shining. I think we've got halfway through April and the sun has decided to come out. Did have a bit of rain earlier though, just to not let us forget that it's still raining like mad. But we are digging, and I'm on a job today down deepest Hampshire with the backhoe. Roaded it here about 30 odd miles, so decent little trip this morning. To be fair, it didn't take took just over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes I think. I did stop to get some biscuits and good old Ginster's pasty on the way through. So yeah, it wasn't a bad journey at all. We're digging a trench for new utilities down to a future outbuilding. Well, there's a current outbuilding that's also got to be demolished, but yeah, a future outbuilding is going in here. They need a bigger main. I think it's currently been connected off of an old property which is no longer connected to this bit of land, so yeah, anyway, we're putting in new electric and new water, which will come off the road. Crazy expense, really. We have to do all the digging, and then still the electric board want thousands of pounds to even run the connection. But that's how it is. You can't exactly go to anybody else, can you, for a connection? So anyway, our job: dig down this track and yeah, install new pipe and a duct, which we've agreed with the electric board because they couldn't give us a date when they were going to come and all of that stuff. So we can't just leave an open trench for months until they decide to turn up. So we are going to leave a duct in, which has been agreed. They want a 150mm duct. That's not cheap anymore. Incredibly expensive ducting, and at 150 it starts to get really quite expensive. But anyway, probably our only option really is that. So I've been along this track already. It's an old sort of farm track. It's been made up with brick rubble and a bit of hogging and whatever else they've had spare, and I've rescued most of that from the surface to try and use that for reinstatement later on. Already had some reject sand delivered, which is already down past behind the dumper, so it's sort of what I call in the job at the bottom, and I've got a road at the top of the job, so can't really tip anything up there. But plenty of space about. This is obviously, I'm just on a track at the moment which is a little bit tight, and hence I'm having to dig a little bit into the dumper. We want to try and leave this so that we can get up and down here straddling the trench to obviously perform all the backfilling and stuff. So that's why I'm digging into a dumper as it stands, rather than sticking it by the side and basically blocking my way back in. So that's how we're having to do it. I did have the brilliant idea to I thought if I dig a 450 trench, which would be wide enough, I could dig the 9-inch. The water main needs to go down to 3 foot, or from the American viewers, or 900mm for us Europeans. And I thought, I'll dig that the 3 foot bit with a 9-inch bucket, 220mm. And that'll save me all the arisings, right? Because if you're digging less, there's less arisings and less reinstatement and all of that, less muck moving generally, which I thought was a good idea, and it was, apart from this ground is absolutely ridden with bricks, rubble and other stuff. So sadly that plan has not worked, so we're just going with the 450 now down to 3 foot instead of digging to 450 to 2 foot where the electric duct can sit. And then just digging the last foot in 9-inch. So bit of a turnaround, not too bad though. Sometimes you have these plans and they don't quite work out on you. But the plan really is to bring the backhoe. This could have been a mini job, could have dug it with the mini digger, but decided against that because this machine's going to rip this trench out much faster. It's about 85 metres to do. And yeah, we've done the complicated bit at the top end, and now I'm just sort of working my way up the track. So it's basically got to go into effectively where that little white house is. You might be able to see in the distance on the left. So yeah, just get the bulk of the dig done, which we should be able to do today. I'm unsure yet whether I'll keep this here tonight, maybe borrow Rick's van, who I'm working with, and get home that way and come back in the morning and use the backhoe again for sort of the installation, the backfilling. So we've got to sand it all up, and then we've got to obviously put this all back in. So it will definitely be at least another day. I think Rick had allowed 5 days for it, but he has got connections to do and water and bits and bobs, so some stuff that I won't necessarily be involved with. But I'd like to get down to the Green Shields dig day, which is Friday and Saturday this week, and yeah, that's the plan there. So yeah, got to try and, you need to go back, Rick. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah. It's difficult when you're on a dumper like that to know where to stop, really, and it is a bit of a fine art between being too far away so that I constantly have to use the extender hoe to get into him, and obviously not being too close that then I can't dig enough trench to work. So it's a bit of a balance. But anyway, we've got to sand up these ducts and then get them all backfilled and installed, which I'd like to think, if the weather stays on side, we might have a good go at tomorrow, and maybe Wednesday just be turning up with a broom. That would be my plan. Get the connections done, and hopefully then Friday I can get down to Green Shields Day, which is where I want to be. He wants me a bit further in, somewhere there. Tricky. Don't want to hit. It's a fairly new dumper. Don't want to hit that, and obviously don't want to hit my digger. God, it's tough old ground. Anyway, glad we're digging it with a backhoe and not with the 3-tonner, because I think it would have been hard work for the old girl. And obviously the buckets are twice the size, so every bucket is 2, isn't it? So the theory here is if I can load up this bit of reject sand, water main is in. No, he's good, he's good. The idea is to load up this reject sand and get the water main covered so that if anything collapses this evening, then we've get back a bit, then at least we've got some sand in, and you know the deepest part of it is in and is all good and all of that. that's the idea anyway. That's the concept. Whether it actually works and keeps raining on poor old Brick, he's not that happy about it. 5-minute forecast, but we've had sun most of the day, and I thought today was going to be worse. So it could be worse. I don't know. Look, he wants a cab. Don't have a cab for him. Not my dumper. To be honest, quite a nice dumper, the Thwaites, but I suspect that they have downrated the power, because both Rick and I don't think it's as performant as it should be. It's got a 1.6 litre little Yanmar engine in it. For some reason, it just doesn't seem to have the power that I remember them having. The grunt, you know, it's a bit, doesn't seem to rev as hard, and yeah, it just doesn't seem to be quite as good as the old ones were. Anyway, got to get out and do a bit of shovel work now, sadly. So you joined us on day 3 of the project. Didn't film a lot yesterday. Day 2, there was a lot of backfilling of trenches to do, and it was pretty awkward. Pretty busy for me, up and down. I was doing a lot of pick and carry with the machine. That would have definitely been a day for reverse drive. I spent a lot of time in reverse driving up and down this track. But yeah, it's Backhoe's been doing pretty well. Been very pleased with its ability to deal with the hard ground and do a bit of pick and carrying. We actually haven't used the dumper really at all since day 1. It hasn't done anything. We've just been able to pick up and carry with the Backhoe. That seemed to be just as quick. So it does show you that in the right conditions, these machines will save you running 2 machines. I mean, of course, against a 6-ton dumper, you know, if you've got real material to move, or a 9-ton, anything bigger, you know, you're going to struggle to keep up with the Backhoe realistically. But against a 3-ton dumper, and having the advantage of being able to load yourself, it's worked really well. The only thing I probably would have done differently with this trench being so tight as it is or this track being so tight, I'd have had some sand probably in the lay-by halfway up, and I think that would have helped just save time tramping backwards and forwards, moving sand really. So that would probably have been the only thing I'd have done differently. But otherwise, you know, you live and learn with these projects, and yeah, we're making pretty good progress. So I've got the muckaway to run up to the top, and I've got a pond to fill in and stuff with it, and a few other bits. So that's going to be the plan for this afternoon. Jack's on the whacker plate, whacking down the trench. We've got some Type 1 coming later, just to get that track tidied up. I should run that in with the 4-in-1. That should look pretty good, and then give it a final whack, and yeah, that'll be the job done. So a little bit of tidying up. Probably got about a load, just over a load of muck away to remove, or just go and move into this other area that he wants it. There's some more building work to do here, so it'll be utilised in the future, but not right now. So yeah, doing all right. I'll do some time lapse, because nobody likes to see actually how long all this stuff really takes sometimes, and you also don't want to listen to the buzzer of this quick hitch. So I'll get my bucket changed. Well, it's type 1 is going in nicely. It was a little bit late on the delivery, sadly, so we're still here at gone 5 o'clock in the evening, but it is going in and the sun is shining. So in fact, if anything, we've had a little bit more than we actually needed delivered, which has been no bad thing, because it's allowed us to get a bit more of the track done, which I think will only be a benefit to the customer. So yeah, it's looking good. Jack's on the whacker. I'm just spreading this out relatively thin. It's just a question of kind of grading just a thin layer over the top, really, to bind in with the existing surface, which yeah, is working out all right. The only trick is getting your machine level. If I could drive on the bit that I'd already done, work the other way, that would be ideal, because that bit up there is relatively flat, but Jack's whacking, so I'm trying not to do that. Of course, every time the machine moves, you lose your level, so you have to kind of feel it with your bum, like with all these operations. This bit I kind of get the hang of. It's very similar to when you're using the skid steers, really, and they're something I've used quite a bit, so I'm fairly used to how you go about levelling stuff with a front bucket. Although this machine is a lot bigger, visibility is always tricky. But yeah, it's all about making sure that you're on a pretty stable base, really, and grading it back. Float option works a treat. I know it's probably cheating, and loads of people will be like, oh, I could do that with a standard thing, but anyway, the float option makes life very easy, especially when you've got a thin layer of nice material like that, and you don't actually need to put it into a set level. It's yeah, it's very easy. It makes life easy. It just allows the bucket to sort of ride the highs and the lows as you go, which is great, really. So that's what we're up to. Nearly done. Won't be long, and this job will be done. 5 days, I think we thought, and to be fair, we've done it in 3, so I don't think that's too bad. Not all of it, of course, because, you know, just because of this machine, but it certainly helps having a bigger machine on a job. I'm starting to learn that, really. You get a job done a bit quicker. The bigger the machine you can get in on the job, if you can fit the biggest machine in there, you can. You know, it generally seems to pay dividends in terms of yeah, in terms of getting the job done a that bit faster. So it's a bit of a technique I learned from an American friend, actually. They always said if you get the biggest machine you can in a job, and I always thought, really, well, you know, you don't need to have anything bigger, it's more fuel, but actually it's not really, because you're running it for less days, less time, whatever you want to say, because you're doing the job quicker, fundamentally. So that seems to be the way that I'm making the backhoe pay, and it's doing a decent job. And again, haven't used the dumper, just spread this stone out, just running it in with the bucket, really. Not the most tricky job. Doesn't need to go into any levels as such, does it? But otherwise I'd have had a machine, a dumper, and have to keep tracking the machine up to go and fill the dumper up, and then track up again and level it up. And whereas this is kind of all one operation, and it is seriously speeding things up. I think we've done all that in an hour, and we stopped and had tea and biscuits, so can't complain about that. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of this job. There isn't really much more to show. We're just going to have a bit of a tidy up now, try and get ourselves out of here. There is another little job to do in the morning with this machine while I'm down in this area. As usual, people see that you've got a bit of kit and you can do something with it, and they go, oh, while you're here, can you just? So another little can you just job in the morning, which I will do my best to film. We'll see. It's a bit of a tricky one, to be honest, and a bit of wet ground, which isn't going to be ideal, but hopefully get these people out of a bit of trouble. Anyway, that's this one done. Ducting for the electric. I don't think they come in till June to actually do that job, but it's in, and we've done everything we need to do. So, and the water board, I don't know when they're due either, but at least it's ready for whenever the utility companies decide to actually show. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy my stuff. Always welcome for feedback, and I will catch you again in another video sometime. Hopefully should make it to the JCB dig day later this week, so I can have a go and see what the new dual drive backhoe's like, and also I think the 26C is going to be there, so that will be yeah, be a good one to have a try. It's a replacement for my beloved 8026, which yeah, will be good to try out. Anyway, catch you next one.